To the end of the Crawford is fast gaining recognition as a rising star in the 135-pound division. As a young man searching to find himself in the streets of Omaha, Nebraska, his future came into focus through the events that took place on Labor Day in 2008. This year, Crawford was Omaha. General demeanor that about everything. Absence of rhythm.
Crawford would be stepping on his feet if that's the case.
Good puncher named John Molina. Odd angles and at moments when you don't have balance there with an overhand right.
And not only ball and be just as effective as he is right-handed.
He's the best. Extremely capable canvassing. Duncan was at one that I don't know about. Seen him, trust me. This guy 18-7 amateur through Cameron Duncan that brought him to
in the pocket, punching range, land your own punches.
A city too few dates away from that. In the round. Here in front of him and Ryan McIntyre, they alternate talking to the fighter throughout. As soon as chance to see the return of Miguel Cotto, coming off greatest of recent careers in Russia, who are as fast as Terence.
But Klimov is doing enough offensive rhythm.
Well, one oiled a little bit already tonight, while you at home were watching for undercard year. It was terrific.
Hell of a win.
He was terrific. The Vietnamese crowd loved it.
That's the best punch against the southpaw.
Sit through Klitschko.
His beard was rattled. Out jabbing him with the right jab. That's probably why out. It looks like a nearly full house. The promotion is turned, so that's why they are making the noise.
Booing, but how about imposing himself a little bit more on this Klimov guy?
Yeah, he's not a huge puncher, but like right there, you saw he got caught with the right hand. Yes, because Klimov is not.
What I saw happen just then is
Why would that be wrong?
Feels as though he can hit Crawford better at the left-handed position.
Opportunity to throw it.
So that he'll fight him. You can't fight him.
If you're faced with a world-class guy in front of you who's basically trying to stink you out.
And that's probably one of his
seconds remaining in the round. It was a good body punch there by Crawford. And another one in it right now. Klimov coming into this fourth round.
If you have an awkward fighter with crazy, it's not the case.
Most of the guys that fight 135 come down.
You see the problem hitting Klimov.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit.
Right hook by Terence Crawford. Knocked Klimov back up into the ropes.
Not to think of him as a southpaw, but technically, I guess he's not a southpaw.
Something beautiful. Like that.
Solid punching power, but he's trying not to let him do.
So unfortunately, despite the unbeaten record, Crawford tries for a title shot.
What's curious about the matchup? Also hard to imagine looking sensational against Klimov, although he's looking better and better. And so if the idea is that
what guys have often in the gym, but you have to be this. What I'm saying, what I say.
Trouble, of course, with a matchup like this. Many fans out there, 8 knock in his last fight, and Molina, Antonio DeMarco, when DeMarco was the champion of the 135-pound weight class.
Many fans would be right. So the question is why, and the answer is because Top Rank and HBO, it's fairly obvious that he's at least as talented and has real potential.
Like an extremely talent-rich weight class.
Right. He's
here so far.
The punch with that right, looks at him, he gotta stop punching.
He isn't doing anything.
Absolutely.
Team off with Jay. Their corner is tremendously pleased with what their fighters do
so far tonight.
Trying
to be feather-fisted fighting,
but less moving every which way makes it difficult to know when and how exactly to attack him. But when Crawford simply attacks,
nothing but a jab is discouraging.
You can't tell when Klimov is going to counter and when he's not. And that's what Crawford is being careful or cautious of.
Crowd won't have to wait that. Round 7 of the schedule.
Much more aggressive with the south.
Well, maybe that look a little bit more risk, because you just have the impression that if he'll take a little more risk,
because you're going to get countered, and he's been countered
to make.
Crawford's tasted his power in this fight.
Good shot. Good body shot by Crawford.
To be perfect. To accept. But look at the results.
Do us all a favor, and
So, what?
two Russian-American managers, both of them named Alex, both have ambitions to throw a fighter to go all the way through, which is going to be the ultimate number at the end of this round. Good left hook by Klimov, and Crawford goes after him for that.
Yeah, Klimov's a bit hurt from a right hand high on the head, it looks like. Sitting and watching. I didn't see him interacting with fans, but I did see him ringside.
Here's Delvin Rodriguez warming up in his dressing room. So Delvin's breaking a sweat and getting himself ready. Number of connects for Cross, which is anything.
He got much more aggressive. Let's see him close the show.
Shot, left hook upstairs is blocked. This time a jab is blocked. Crawford.
Oh. Flip.
Proud of his perfect aesthetic technique. That time looked way off balance.
I think they had a collision of feet.
He turned southpaw.
Didn't see anything.
Not much else was going on. How do you have
72, 8-0 Terence Crawford. You know, Jim, I've noticed a couple of things in this fight. A few interesting things. Number one, southpaws usually pour with the right jab. Terence Crawford's got nice, doesn't pour with it. He throws a nice right, turned around right-handed. These Russian fighters are usually straight-up guys. Klimov spends his whole life bobbing and weaving, bobbing and weaving. He moves his head beautifully. Of course, he doesn't land any punch.
keep it up?
Done a good job. There's no real been a lot of clinching, or they're staying within punching distance, but Klimov's to stop Crawford from punching with.
Been very helpful. He hasn't, and not a second more. Miguel Cotto is waiting. Even looking. And by the way, let me correct myself. 39 minutes, not 40, after the end of the 10. Two straight left hands by Terence Crawford. The whistle means they're Tommy Bond 45 out of 200.
Saluki did come in the
Shadid
corner.
Saluki was the most entertaining thing in the fight.
And he's or knock him out. It's the only chance here is to sell out and go for a knockout. And so what? You win. Motion for Tim Bradley. Leave something of yourself for the people watching.
After all, you don't want to as though it's named for your fans and say, what was that? You didn't even bother Terence Crawford. You didn't impose yourself on him in any way.
You didn't leave an impression.
You got insulted.
Crawford's just not one of them.
I should probably be kinder to him on that basis.
For our first fight of the night.
Put his arms over the top.
Surprised, actually, we are this.
Downs. He didn't have any.
Watch your legs, watch your legs. Watch your legs, watch your legs.
Klimov.
He can do it from round one. Crawford is too strong. Crawford is in too much of a rhythm. The jab is going to bother him every time he tries to open up.
It's so hard trying to go for broke. He just, because he's not accustomed to doing it, he can't muster the right kind of effort.
His personality doesn't say that. In the fight with me yesterday, it seemed like everything we said, all he said was so.
Right.
Oh, that body shot hurt, though. Oh.
One extra punch.